professional counselor and addictions and a program evaluator.
Okay, very good.
That's my
In the
three
area of
hats.
addictions.
Huh?
In the area of addictions.
Prevention. Prevention of tobacco and alcohol and domestic violence.
Okay.
Okay? Whatever you want to say is fine.
Folks, are we ready?
Oh, go ahead.
All right. Folks, I'm very pleased to present Dr. Bob Choate. Dr. Choate was my colleague at Stephen F. Austin State University. He is now a private practitioner in the community, a licensed effective counselor, and also a consultant and program evaluator in the area of addictions, well, particularly in the area of prevention of substance abuse,
Tobacco
tobacco,
and domestic violence.
domestic violence. Okay, known Dr. Choate for many years. All of you, or a lot of you guys, are familiar with Dr. Choate's work, particularly in this area, and he is also a certified rehabilitation counselor. So he's worked as a rehabilitation counselor and knows some of the trials and tribulations of working as a rehabilitation counselor. Dr. Choate, thank you
Thank you.
very much for speaking with us today.
That's why I know the trials and tribulations. That's why I'm not a rehabilitation counselor today. I will say it's damn hard work, and I appreciate the work that you're doing, and I truly appreciate those who are getting ready to go into the work. I spent this is my 45th year as a counselor, and I started off this life as a rehabilitation counselor. I graduated from Mississippi State in one of the premier rehabilitation counseling programs in the country. And some of us say, well, who was there first? I don't know. Well, I graduated in 1972 as a rehabilitation. 76 as a rehabilitation. So I was in one of those first cohorts. So we did that. At that time, it was the first 48-hour program in the nation for rehabilitation counselors, and so it gave me a good foundation, and I appreciate that. Most of you have known that I tend to, when Bill called me up and he says, oh, no, he didn't. No, he saw me at church. And he says, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he says, can you come up with something? And I said, I probably can. Remember in the past we've talked about sex and money and drugs and rock and roll. And so we talk about all the good stuff, right? See, they remember the sex thing. The sex thing was a hit. But I want to talk a little bit about electronic cigarettes, okay? And let me put it in a context for you. First of all, do we have any vapors in here? Praise the Lord and pass the grade. We got one. Who? Oh, vapors. Okay. If you know if you don't know what that is, you're not a vapor. So it's that. So I want you to know that I will be making some disparaging remarks here today, but it has to be in the context of the number one preventable health issue in America today, and that's smoking. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about it in relationship to our young folks, to teenagers, to the group that we are all attending to now, the transition group, the people who are going from high school into job. I used to say the 18 to 24, then it got to be the 16 to 24, and now it's the 12 to 24 age group. Okay, that doesn't scare you, I don't know what else will. So that's what we're talking about. What I'm going to talk a little bit about electronic cigarettes, but what I'm really going to talk about is the iPhone of electronic cigarettes. You get with me? Okay? The iPhone, and it's right here. This is how it comes. By the way, I bought this last night from my local dealer. I went in. They commit in the smoke shop. They commit 30 feet of up and lower counter space to this. Okay, it's the number one selling e-cigarette on the market today. I'm going to pass this around so you can see it in a moment. Okay? It's, well, I tell you what, it's so funny. The funny thing is, I bought it, gave her my credit card, and she says, "Do you want the receipt?" I said, "Well, of course I do. It's going to be a business expense." I'm not an idiot. She says, "Well, a lot of people coming here don't want to take their receipts home because somebody will know that they were in a smoke shack." And I said, "My God, that's the way it was in the porn place." I didn't keep the receipt there either, but so seriously, it felt like I was in an adult entertainment place, and I was buying something I shouldn't. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this. Okay? Now, and I bought this. Yes, ma'am. Well, we'll get to it in a minute. We'll get to it in a minute. That you don't get ahead of me. Okay? JUUL has blown up on the internet. If you can look it up, JUUL. You can look it up on the internet. Social media is full of it. Your kids are talking about it. They're talking about it in school. It is one of the biggest and the brightest things to come. There's jokes on the social media. It's taken on a life of its own. There's more than 50,000 posts under the hashtag JUUL a day. So it's really interesting. There's lots of tweets. There's videos on YouTube if you want to. They will tell you how to put it together, how to smoke it. They will tell you how to hack it. We'll keep that in mind. They'll tell you how to hack it, and so that's part of the important aspect of it. Well, we're going to get it. Yes, it does, doesn't it? And it's a major problem in high schools. People are using this smoking device in class in the high schools and the junior highs. In 2000, I think I have some figures in here. We'll get to those, but from 2012, when this was introduced, until 2018, just in the last 2 years, the use of this device has quadrupled among young people. Now, vaping has gone down overall in high school kids. Okay, because what you're looking at is it's a progression, and by the time you get to 12th grade, it goes down. It's gone up to balance it out in 7th and 8th graders. So that's nationally. It's the most talked about product on the social media, targeting youth. Okay, now remember these disparaging remarks. Keep in mind this thing about social media targeting youth. Okay, now. This is what it looks like. It's attractive and high tech. You buy it like this. This is the device with 4 pods. Now, what do the pods look like? Okay. Comes like this. Okay. Here is your device. You open it up, and it comes as the device itself, along with the charging station. Okay? Now, I happen to have I brought my computer here for a reason. The car charging station looks like that. Okay, I'll pass this around so you can see it. But okay, that's what the charging station looks like. Now, how many of you have one of those stuck into your computer right now? May have one for a mouse. You may have one keeping all your secrets on, all your pictures, all that kind of stuff. That's what it looks like. Then, to charge it, you very simply place this there. It's magnetic. Okay, it goes to your computer and charge. It takes about an hour to charge it. It lasts anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. Continuous smoking, it'll last 2 hours. Hitting it every once in a while lasts anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. Okay, so you're beginning to get it. Okay, now I'm not going to charge this, but I'll show you These are you buy the system, and it comes with 4 cartridges. There are the cartridges. Isn't that cute? Ain't that cute? Okay. What teenager could resist this? Okay. And I'm not. But. Oh. Okay. We have creme brulee. Okay. We have. Oh, okay. Let me see. I forgot what these are now. Creme brulee. Pardon me. No, there's a cream. Oh, one of them is tobacco. It's a tobacco taste. One of them is creme brulee. The other one is mint. Now, I want you to know they were crafty. They don't call it menthol. They call it mint. Okay. So those are the flavors. When you have a charged unit, they slip right into the top here. The cap comes off, and this is what you draw on. Okay, this is the iPhone because it has a computer sensor in it, and it knows when you're drawing, and it heats it as you're drawing. So there's no chance of overheating. There's no chance of having that kind of stuff. This is extremely high tech. As a matter of fact, this little thing here, right here, has more memory than the space shuttle, than the Apollo 16 had when it went to the moon. Okay, does that scare you? Okay, okay. Now this is I'm not opinionated. You understand? It is a portable nicotine. It's a portable nicotine delivery system. Because once you get it out of here, it goes in the hand. Nobody can see you have it. Now, most of the stuff that you've seen, most of the stuff that you've seen in the stores and that kind of stuff have been fairly large, colorful vaping devices that blow out steam of vapor and all that kind of stuff. There's virtually no vapor that comes out of this. It's easily portable and easily hidden. Virtually none. There's a little bit, but it's virtually none. Okay? Just to give you an idea. So that's the setup. Okay? It delivers a potent dose of nicotine with each puff, and could potentially be just as addictive as traditional cigarettes, maybe even more so. Okay, this doesn't look like much, does it? Okay? There's equivalent nicotine in here of a pack of cigarettes. About somewhere between 1.5 and 1.7 milligrams of nicotine in here. Okay. There is a company called JUUL. It's supported financially by tobacco companies, but they say they have no control and interest in this. But we'll see if that's accurate. Let's see. There's only 2 components, as you see. Makes it real simple. You've got the bottom unit, and you've got the pod that goes in that has the nicotine delivery. In a moment, we'll also talk a little bit about what's in there with it. I need to hold on to this. Okay. The big difference between JUUL and other e-cigarettes is that there's no settings. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to dial it up, dial it down. You simply put the pod in, and you're ready to go. There's 15 different flavors. I bought the one that has 4. If you go into the store, there's a whole array of a total of 15 different flavors. Okay. There's no it's not user modifiable. A chip temperature regulation technology, and it's less likely to burn or explode, and it comes, like I said, in a variety of flavors. Okay, the little pink one here is fruit medley. Yes. Yes, so you can control the amount that you can draw, and you can control how much flavor that's in it. Many of the other vapors, and we'll talk about that. Okay. one of the deadly things about this is really nice that we're limited to creme brulee and fruit medley. Keep in mind, these all have nicotine in them. In some of the others, they have nicotine, and sometimes it's just the fruit flavors. But many of the others, you can modify them to put THC, marijuana, cocaine. You can put virtually any dissolvable drug into one of those vaping units. Okay? Well, that's interesting. They say that they're self-contained, so they're absolutely safe. We're not going to have that, okay? But if you go on the internet and you go to YouTube, there is a wonderful little YouTube tutorial of how you can take this and put THC in it. Okay? By the way, just as an aside, if you're really into nicotine, did you know that you can buy nicotine on the internet? You can get it out of Canada. You can actually get a 16-ounce container of nicotine shipped to your home. Now, that doesn't make much sense to us, right? I mean, we get 16 ounces of coffee on the internet, all this kind of stuff. 16 ounces of nicotine is enough to kill 100,000 people. It is the most toxic poison on the face of the earth. Nicotine. We just see it in very, 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 very tiny quantities. And that should tell you it is also the most addictive chemical that we have. So that's where we come in. But creme brulee, fruit medley, all kinds of neat stuff. Now, JUUL contains a mixture of glycol, propylene glycol, nicotine, benzoic acid, and flavorants. Okay, flavorants. Remember that. Okay, flavorants. What in the hell is flavorants? And they won't tell you what the flavorants are. Well, creme brulee, but we don't know what goes into that creme brulee. Keep in mind that a cigarette, if you smoke a cigarette, you're looking at about 2,000 different chemicals that you're ingesting into your lungs when you smoke a cigarette. 2,000? 2,000. If you, and you can reduce some of those. By the way, a filter on a cigarette doesn't cut out the chemicals that you're putting in your body at all. All the filter does is pick up large molecules that are burning off the cigarette. It doesn't filter out any of the contaminants at all. And a vapor, you're only on a vape machine. Most vape machines, you're only looking at about 450 toxic chemicals. On these, there hasn't been enough research yet to tell, but they're saying it probably reduces us down to 200, which suggests that it's safer than cigarettes, right? Okay, and to be honest with you, it probably is. It really probably is safer than smoking cigarettes. And it was introduced as an alternative to cigarette smoking because it's less toxic. It's more healthy. Now, if you believe that, I have a bridge in Brooklyn I want to talk to you about. It is still packed with nicotine. It still has it has the benzoic acid, which is what gives you the flavor off of tobacco. They mimic the flavor you get from smoking. Oh, so if you're a smoker and you want the taste of a cigarette, you got it right here. It comes through because that's part of the issue. Okay, you staying with me now? Let me see. The health effects of inhaling. Now this is from the CDC. The health effects of inhaling these ingredients aren't well known, but one thing is for certain: nicotine is a highly addictive substance, and each hit of the JUUL packs quite the nicotine punch. The nicotine content is they say that it's 1.6 milligrams per liter, which is a weird way of saying that. the folks who have reported on this says it's probably closer to 2 or 2.5, which means that if you smoke one of those pods, you're getting the equivalent of somewhere around pack and a half to 2.5 packs of cigarettes. Okay? I've got kids that tell me they go through four of the little things a day. Okay, now I'm figuring this up. Okay, so you're talking about 4 to 6 packs of cigarettes a day that they're getting out of these. And that's before they even get home. That's while they're at school. They call it JUULing.
How much are they?
Oh, that's interesting. A pack of 4, this little pack of 4, if you buy them by themselves, is $14.95. Well, wait a minute. How much? Any smokers in here? Boy, this is a good group. No, this is a good group. How much do you pay for a pack of cigarettes now in Texas? About anywhere from 5. Even the economy is around $6 up to $7 or $8 for a pack of cigarettes. A pack. In New York, it's $11 a pack. In Alaska, it's $14 a pack. That's for a pack of cigarettes. So what you're doing is that you're not doing bad when you spend $14.95 for this. Okay? As far as smoking is. So there we go. Now we've got a little bit of competition here now, don't we? Now the now this is a statement that JUUL makes. The JUUL is a closed system, meaning the user doesn't refill the e-liquid like you do with a tank system, the vape pens, which does allow for more quality control. We use a thorough screening process to ensure the ingredients and the flavors other than nicotine are not included in the harmful and potential harmful constituents outlined by the FDA. Okay? So, the device itself costs between $30 and $60. This with the 4, it was $39.95 for just the unit. You get the 14, and it was $59.95. This is for the whole system. So now that was walking to my local dealer. The stick? No, the stick lasts probably about 6 to 8 months. And then the battery wears out and you have to get another stick. You have to get another JUUL. Okay? It has a lithium-ion battery in it, and it's rechargeable, but just like your cell phone battery, it depends on how much you use it, how many times you charge it. So it's got all of those constituents that we talk about.
Wait a minute, Bob.
Yes.
So when you're inhaling, so when you're inhaling, are you inhaling any stuff given off by the
The answer is yes. But that's not included in the ingredients at all. So it all comes through that unit. They don't mention that. But what we know is there is some potential harm to that. Let's see. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. Easy to hide, really easy to get. Okay. The manufacturer says, JUUL says, okay, that they have a limit of 15 packs, 15 of the flavored packs per year. You can't buy more than 15. Oh, pardon me? Oh, heavens no. You know? Oh, heavens no. Well, you go, how many? Okay, I got a question for you. I live in a small town, 32,000 population. Small town. Got it? You live, some of you live in Houston? Okay. How many vape shops do you have in Houston? 6, okay. 3 years ago, there were maybe 4 in Nacogdoches. There are now 18. And when you add to that every convenience store, every grocery store, every service station, you go down the list. And JUUL, you can buy that in most of these. So it's extremely easy to get. You can also order it online. All you need is a credit card and say, yes, I'm over 18. Okay? Now, where are 14-year-olds going to get a credit card? Huh? No, there's not where they're going to get it. They're going to go to Walgreens, they're going to go to Kroger, and they're going to buy a debit card, prepaid debit card, and they type that in there. They can get. That's also where they get condoms. It's also where they buy guns. It's also where they get lots of different things, isn't it? JUUL, the company. Let's see. The company is in right outside of Baltimore, Maryland. It is a Maryland. Well, in Maryland, you don't have the same controls on the corporations that you do in others. In Maryland, you can't sue them nearly as easily. And so that's why a lot of your major corporations are based out of Dover, Delaware, and Maryland, because they limit that. Reuse rose from 1.5% to 16% among high school students from 2011 to 2015, estimated at 48% in 2017. These are high school students. Oh yeah, this covers all genders, all age groups, all genders, and believe it or not, all ethnicities. We don't have all those figures yet. They're coming in. We're doing some of that now. There's a national process to taking a look at that. I will tell you in Nacogdoches, it's risen exponentially. Among seniors, there's virtually 90.2% of seniors says that they have used a vape device in the last 30 days. Almost 100% have used one. Now, let's say that uses them regularly. Regular use is about the 48%. Okay? Now, to understand this, you have to understand the nature of nicotine a little bit. Nicotine is a neurotoxin. Okay? You get the highest high that you could possibly get in your brain comes from nicotine. It only lasts for about 3 seconds. Okay, it's not like heroin where it lasts for a long time, or cocaine where it has a half-life of hours, but it's only about 3 seconds. But it is the most, it's the highest recorded neuroactivity of any chemical that you can put in your brain. It doesn't last long. But it also, if you think about that, it also contributes to the addictive quality of it. Because what do you want to do? You want to take another hit to get that same high, and another. That's why it's called puffs. You take puffs, you draw it in, you get a high. And so that's why these kids are doing 200, as much as 200 in a day, in order to keep that going. Okay, now, the manufacturer says that they are marketed to adults as a replacement for cigarettes. They're safer than cigarettes. They are not. They don't want a teen market. They're trying to implement youth prevention programs. And the issue with this is that may be true, but no e-cigarette is safe. It is inherent, lots of problems inherent with it. Dr. Harold J. Farber, who is Associate Professor of Pediatrics at Baylor College of Medicine and a pulmonologist at Texas Children's Hospital, he said that although it's illegal for people under 18 to purchase e-cigarettes or other tobacco products, underage teens still find ways to get their hands on them. He talks about one of the problems we're having, especially with young folks now, is asthma. And what they're very clear about is that vaping exacerbates the overall issue that we have with asthma. So we actually have, Dr. Parker talks about as many as 50 to 60 deaths in the state of Texas alone due to vaping with people who have childhood asthma. And many of these folks, before they don't know they have asthma because it is it's an allergy kind of thing, and then it causes asthma to come fully in. It's never just vapor that you're inhaling. As I mentioned, lots of chemicals come in there. Neurotoxins, the benzoic acid, all kinds of negative stuff, which actually has long range issues. JUUL claims to market to existing adult smokers, but even the teens aren't buying that. I'll show you something into this that puts a nail in that one. Yes, ma'am. That was a federal law that caused all tobacco companies, and JUUL, they required JUUL to put on here that where is it? Okay, California Proposition 5 warning. This product contains chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects or other reproductive harm. Now, I had to put it here so I could read it, and my glasses are pretty good, okay? And it's on the carton that you throw away. But just to let you know, not for sale to minors. Keep away from children and pets. Ooh. Ooh. Got to watch out, okay? Let's see. All tobacco should ever be considered safe. Nicotine and other toxins are inherent in all tobacco products. And I think that's what we have. That's the statement that I am making to you. It is not safe. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. I can answer that question. I can't answer the question about what you might tell her. The reason why it's not on there is that there has been hundreds of billions of dollars spent on controversial research that means that we cannot prove a direct link between tobacco and lung cancer, because there are some people who get lung cancer that don't smoke. Okay? And so it is not a causal issue, it is a corollary issue. If you smoke, you have a much higher likelihood of getting cancers related to tobacco. Lung cancer, brain cancer, liver, you can go, but lung cancer is the number one. Now, it's corollary. They go together, but we can't, that's been a big issue for like forever. And it's we can't say that it's causal. Now, with your friend, okay, what we do is that we come from who we are, okay? I love you. You are important to me. It's important to me that you're here when I'm 50. The thing that you're doing now is not helping that, and it breaks my heart. By the way, I said that to my daughter. My daughter's 17. She comes home with a pack of cigarettes. I said, I cannot stop you from smoking. Okay? However, it breaks my heart when I see this, because I want you to be here to enjoy your children. I want you to be here for my old age. I need you to take care of me. You know, and I think that is the best approach that you can take with folks. Come from a place of comfort for you. If this is your friend and they're valuable to you, come from that place. Now, it's not judging them. They're not a bad person because they smoke or they vape. Okay, it does bad things to their body, and they get addicted to it. So it's not a bad thing. It's the issue that there's some things that they can do about it. Okay. Nicotine is nicotine regardless of how it's delivered, and it's a higher addiction potential for all other vapes. Okay. One, you can hide it. Two, it's high concentration and low concentration of other chemicals, and so it goes directly from the lungs into the brain and goes in and plays around with the amygdala. The amygdala is in the center of your brain. It's where all those feelings of happiness and joy and all that kind of stuff. And we used to think it used to lock in with dopamine receptors. And what we found out is there's a lot more in there than dopamine receptors. There's dopamine 2, dopamine 283. So there's lots of different receptors that it goes in there, and it stimulates the dopamine receptors within the brain. And so it opens up the potential for addiction. Okay, I want to make sure I don't go over. And believe it or not, what are kids saying? People JUUL at parties. JUUL when they're driving. It's a social thing. They're JUULing all the time, said Craig, 17, who said some students at our high school use the popular electronic cigarette in class. Now, have any of you noticed that with your folks? I talked to the teachers. Now, here's the sad part about it. Sad part for me is that it hit the big cities first. Accessibility was there, knowledge was there, it was marketed there first, but now it's run into small towns like Nacogdoches and Lufkin, and it's becoming a big issue with teenagers. I survey every student in 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th grade in every school in Angelina and Nacogdoches County. And so we know in those two counties what's happening. We have a pretty good idea. And we have a good survey, and we get enough folks that we can take a look at the data and see how realistic it is. The use has increased every year since about 2010, 2012, more since 2012. But we're in the process of looking at 2018 now. And so I'll be able to give you some idea about what we're talking about. Okay, there we go. For some reason, okay. Okay, yeah. There we go. Okay, we don't know some of the long-term health effects of e-cigarettes yet. They're not regulated by the federal government. They're not regulated by the state government. They're not regulated by the local government. Except they've increased the age. Okay? In cases from 18 to 20, whether they haven't, they've made sure that you have to be 18 to go into it, and some of them now have signs you have to be 21 to go into the vape shops. Okay, not everybody is going by that, but there's the signs out there. So they've restricted it in some ways, but none of the stuff that goes into it is regulated. You know why? You know why?
Lobbying.
Huh?
Lobbying.
Well, it's even more base than that. Huh? That's right. It's vegetable product. Remember that nicotine is a vegetable product. Then they can't regulate nicotine in cigarettes. What makes you think they're going to regulate it in vapes? It comes just like that. It comes whatever name they put in there. Oh yeah, it just whatever name comes in one of those computer packs, you know, and comes right to your mailbox. Yeah. See, you lack imagination. You suffer from a lack of imagination. Asking that question tells me that. Okay, some of you who have ordered things that you don't want, your sex toys, you know, how do you get those in there? A brown box, it comes to it comes to your mom, and you go out and you check the mail every day before they get there. She works, and there are 1,000 ways. I mean that. Yeah, you pick it up. Yeah. See what I mean about imagination? So, here, I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to.
What scares me a little bit, Bob, is those are colorful. I would think a child picking that up and putting it in your
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah. And there's nothing in this about what's safety and what's not. It is something else. Okay, I've lost my. Here we go. I lost where it was. Okay. Now, JUUL has only been on the wide market for 2 years. Okay, wide market, and it's now the number one. The JUUL has become one of the hottest cigarettes on the market. It's been called the iPhone of e-cigarettes, and it's gained somewhat of a cult following among young adults. Electronic cigarettes are battery-powered devices, and what it does is it converts the liquid into a vapor. As you know that, but in case you didn't know that, and it's tobacco. And that's why they say it does not like burning tobacco, where you have all those carcinogens that come out, but you still have all of the other stuff that's there. Yes, ma'am. Yes, uh huh. Yes, you can. You can. No, on this you cannot, but on regular vapes, yes, you can just get flavors. You can get mint. You can get just flavors. Now, if you buy that, okay, if you buy that, the inch, we don't know what's in the flavors, okay, and let me tell you, a vapor is a vapor, and I don't know what's in that vapor. I just don't know that. There's no controls. They don't have to tell you what's in it. They don't have to tell you what it's made up of, and you're ingested it in your body into your lungs. Okay, so I am a skeptic, okay. I have 45 years as a counselor. One of the things I've learned as a counselor is to be very suspicious. Okay? And when I talk to my students, and I said there's 2 things I want to give you before you leave here. One, I want you to be suspicious. I want you to you have to hear the stories, but you have to be suspicious, because the stories aren't the truth. They're the story. So you have to ferret it out. The other one is, I want you to have a real good bullshit detector. Okay? That's really important. And mine goes off when I see this. And so I don't apologize for that, but I know that I'm reactive. Now, e-cigarettes have helped people quit smoking. Okay? Because on the vapes, what you can do is you can start off with nicotine, and then you can dial them down to where it's just flavors. Okay? And you can do that. And it has helped people stop smoking. But I will tell you that the results are not very high. They're there, but it's not very high. It's not as successful as we thought. Keep in mind that JUUL was not designed to help people stop smoking. It is a replacement for cigarettes. Because what's going on? There has been tremendous backwash against cigarette companies. By the way, cigarette companies are not making money they're not making money in the U.S. They make money in Japan, Europe, South America, Africa. That's where they're selling their stuff. Number one, by the way, the number one selling, it's not Marlboro, by the way. The number one selling tobacco product in South America is Camel. Okay? Who am I to? Okay. Oh, okay. Now, okay. Almost done. If you think it's not being marketed to kids, I have a bridge in Brooklyn I want to speak to you about, and these are wraps for your vape. These are wraps for your vape. Okay. Now, how many of you have a wrap on your cell phone? How many of you bought it in a little kiosk in the mall, or you ordered it online, or you got it as a gift because somebody says this looks like you? Okay. So you think it's not okay? You think it's not marketed to kids? It's everything in there that you can think of. I like the snake, but you get the little wraps that go on there, and you've got the kind of things you need. Interesting, huh? In a couple of minutes, I had way too much stuff, and so there's. Oh, okay. There is a YouTube. You can go on YouTube and look at the JUUL, and what they do is that they can refill. They figured out a way to refill those little cartridges with a liquid. Yeah, liquid THC. Now, folks, you can buy liquid THC in Canada. Yeah, and you can have it shipped to you. Now, you guys are too true blue. You would be sweating to go to the mailbox and pick that up. These kids don't care. The folks who are interested in this doesn't care, and so and the chances of them being intercepted, the rewards is much higher than the chances of it being intercepted across the border. And it happens. You can get it from Mexico. You can get it from Canada. They make trips to Toronto, Oregon. No, they're not. Then they'd be swamped, and when you see 80,000 cars parked out in front of it, that's not gonna go real well. Let's see. I'm sure I had something else here that was equally important. Let me see. By the way, all of these little graphics are off of articles about the negative aspects of juuling. That's all across the web. I didn't make all these up. They're really things that went. So, questions? I got about 5 minutes. Any questions you have about this? Now, why do we do this? Because we have kids, we work with kids, but the big thing from a rehabilitation perspective, remember, this is a neurotoxin. Our brains aren't fully developed until about 24, okay? Now, I don't think there's anybody in here that's brain isn't fully, well, maybe. But we're not finished as human beings. Our brain is not finished until around 23, 24, 25. Okay? You start putting these neurotoxins into your brain in a concentrated form, more concentrated than a cigarette. In a concentrated form, you don't know what in the hell is going to happen. And what we know is, well, we've been successful. The average age of first cigarette the first smoking has actually increased. It was about 13.5 10 years ago. It's up to 16, around 16 now, which is significant. Because if it's 16, you're delaying it, and you have an opportunity for prevention services and discuss it and talk to people about it. Talk to the kids about it. Teach them something about it. It might change their behavior. Alcohol is that way too. Marijuana, not so much. Not as much. A couple more rewards for marijuana, I think, than some of the others. It works real great if you can get them there.
They would support it, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Not so much by the company. They're focusing on the youth. They want to. Yeah. Yes. Smoking cessation is a big part of the Texas Tobacco Coalition movement. It has had difficulty getting feet underneath it because it's not supported by the medical community. Well, it's not the AMA. AMA supports it totally. It's the hospitals. Hospitals have gone smoke-free, and they pay some light attention to talking to their clients. Now, the FQHCs, the Federally Qualified Health Centers, they're hooked up. They're on the way. They evaluate everybody, and they send them all. They refer them all to the quit lines, the one by the feds and one by the state. The problem is that they're called, they get in touch with, and the patients don't follow through. So it falls. Now, the smoking cessation, we have two groups going on in Lufkin right now, and we get 3 people show up. We get 100 people referred, and we get 3 people show up. So we've even started doing it person to person, individually, and they come for 1 or 2 sessions, and then they fall out. Often there's too much peer pressure. There's too many other things that they don't see it as a major issue. It still is. Those people who quit smoking and are successful are the people who do it cold turkey. That's still the most effective way for people to quit smoking. And some of you know that in here. Some of you were smokers, and when you decided, that's it, I'm putting it down. Your daughter was born. Whatever reason. You had a reason, you put it down, and you were successful. Doesn't mean that you don't want to go back to it from time to time, but that's the way it works sometimes. It's not always 100% successful. Yes, ma'am. Oh, there are still parents who buy vapes for their kids, for their 6, 7, 8-year-old kids. That is our cultural issue, and we're going to have to deal with that from a cultural basis. It's just phenomenally crazy. I had something else. Oh, thank you. By the way, I bought this. I am donating this to our tobacco intervention program, and they're going to use this as a model and as a way of educating young people about the effects of vaping, and especially about this. So that's where this is going to once we get done with you. That's why I didn't open it. Yes, no, I gave all those to Linda. I had to send to Bob's address so that Bob could explain it. Yes, ma'am. This with tax, $73. $73
For what?
for this with tax. It was. Remember, there's a tax on tobacco products. So it was $59.95, and by the time you added the value-laden tax, it was $73. This you get 4 modules, and they're good for 200 puffs each. So this is 800 puffs. This is the equivalent, essentially equivalent of about 5 packs of cigarettes. The state and federal government, there is an ad valorem tax that they add to it for tobacco products. Now, we talked about our lack of imagination. The government will always get their share. The governor's got to have something to live in that house. Okay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you allowing me to come in and apostolize about non-smoking. It's something that I think is important for us to know. So thank you. Yes, Graves and Bowen. As a matter of fact, it was Bowen's first year. Yeah.
Bob, thank you very much, man.
turn it on. There we go.